I always wondered lots about my family and how I came to be born and raised in Kalamazoo. I've never taken a deep dive before, so I'm excited to find some things that I didn't know about and learn a little bit more about my family. I decided to meet and interview my grandma Sandy. She's done a really wonderful job at keeping records and tabs and photographs of as far back of our family that she possibly can. So here is my family tree that I created on Ancestry.com, starting with me to my dad, my grandma, her father, her grandpa, and then her great-grandpa. So my third great-grandfather, Aaron Lang, came over from Ireland in 1849 when he was just 13. And there's actually a really interesting story on why my family had to leave Ireland.
Okay, the story how the Lang family left Ireland in a hurry. The Langs were from Enniskillen in Northern Ireland, and someone stole horses from them. Well, they knew, or they thought they knew, it was those darn Catholics from the south. So the Langs decided to get back, and one night they traveled down south and lynched some of the people they believed had stole their horses. By the cover of dark, a group of them left Ireland, jumped on boats, and made it to Canada. The rest made it to Battle Creek. And obviously the Battle Creek faction was our family. But that's the story of how the Langs left Northern Ireland in a hurry in the middle of the night.
So my second great-grandfather, Clark Aaron Lang, was born in Ontario and then made his way to Battle Creek, where my great-grandparents were born and raised, as well as my grandmother. So I decided to take a little drive.
Various things.
Yeah.
When my mother was a housewife most of the time, once she got married, because that's what women did.
Mm-hmm.
She did have some part-time jobs. She worked for the township for elections, and she had some Christmas retail jobs, I think. But my father worked most of the time for United Steel and Wire Company. And he started out in the factory
Okay.
and ended up vice president in charge of sales.
My great-great-aunt Diane made an entire book of her side of the family, which was really interesting to read through. And my second great-grandfather, Peter Vasil Tanis, was born in Macedonia, Greece, and came over to Battle Creek, I believe, in 1900. My first cousin, who is second removed, his name is Richard Andrew Tanis II, but goes by Andy, has played with tons of bands, which I've known. I've been in contact with him before. He's played for Kansas and Lynyrd Skynyrd, and then some of his bigger bands, like that he was most involved in, if you will, not fame, would be Crocus. I also learned that my great-grand-aunt Diane could play piano by ear. Her brother played the drums and was a carny and played the drums in the Ringling Brothers big band. This information was probably the most shocking because all throughout my high school career I was involved in my choir and singing, and I actually went on to study jazz and got accepted into a jazz vocal program and sang there in Chicago for a couple years. So that was something that was really interesting to me to see that taken down. My dad plays trombone a little bit. My aunt has a wonderful voice, even though she won't admit to that. But it was cool to know that the musical abilities travels throughout the side of the family as well. I had such a wonderful time working on this project, and it wouldn't have been possible without my grandmother. Her parents, grandparents, and so on must have been the most absolute lovely people, because that shines through her. She is one of the strongest, smartest, and most beautiful women I know, and I love her very dearly. I'll cherish her and everything that she's passed down to me forever.